This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope you all are doing well tonight. And once again, as every night, we have got a lot to talk about. Who's the first to go in and the last to leave? Put it in the comments if you know. But we'll discuss that. And we're going to discuss what's going on and the art of war. We're getting mixed signals. But we do know what the goals are in this once in a lifetime, once in a generation, actually once in a millennium opportunity that is before us. So anyway, what do I do while people are coming in? I play videos. I play videos to give everybody time to get themselves a nice cup of coffee or a cold brouhaha or an adult beverage, whatever is your want. And then what do we do? What do we do? We'll be like butter. If I get my picture on the screen, my picture show, we'll be like butter and get on a roll. It's corny, I know, but I like it.
Thank you very much. I've had a lot of offers, and sadly, it's all been very recently, to go into Cuba on deals, business deals, real estate and other deals. And I've rejected them on the basis that I will go when Cuba's free. As you know, and the people in this room know better than anyone, putting money and investing money in Cuba right now doesn't go to the people of Cuba. It goes into the pockets of Fidel Castro. He's a murderer, he's a killer, he's a bad guy in every respect. Castro's jails are full of dissidents, as you know very well. His graveyards are full of patriots, and his government is full of thugs. And it's inconceivable to me when I see the weak stance taken by our current administration, especially with the spirit in this room, because the spirit of the Cuban people is beyond any spirit that I've seen by any people, and I've been watching it for a long time. And we can't allow him to get away with this program of coming to this country, hiring our best consultants, hiring our best lobbyists, and all of a sudden, senators and various other people miraculously are on the side of Fidel Castro. And now the battle is almost getting tougher, and it should be a battle that would be won or almost won by now. The point is that things can turn around, and they can turn around very rapidly. I believe that you will have victory. I believe you'll have victory sooner rather than later. And you will win. You are going to win. And I'm going to be down here and I'm going to watch you win. I don't know what capacity I'll be. I'll either be the greatest developer in the country or the greatest president that you've had in a long time. I'm not sure. This trip has been very unusual. I've learned a tremendous amount. Jorge has taken me to I have met more Cubans than I knew existed here. And they are great people. And now I'm friends, and I'm going to be here whenever you need me. If I could meet Castro right now, I'd have personally 2 words for him. Adios, amigo. We'll see you there.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope everyone's doing well. What do I got on the screen? I was going to put a picture of right when the missile struck in the Holy Land, right above the Wailing Wall, but we're going to get to that. I don't want to put that image out. We've got a lot of things, a lot of plates spinning, so to speak, a lot of stuff on the stove cooking, and some stuff in the back of the stove simmering, and a lot of stuff chopped up and ready to go to get thrown into the pot. With other situations all around the world, things that have been a thorn in the side of liberty for almost a century. So anyway, it takes time to do the stuff. Stuff takes time. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Canis Cleanup. How are you doing? Colette, nice to see you. Kim's here. Sissy's here. Miss Mendersue is here. All right. Darla's here. Nice to see you all. Tammy, nice to see you. Who else is coming in? And my lurkers, I got to say, I have my lurkers. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you. MS Motorsports. Good to see you also. So, anything could be happening while I'm doing my broadcast. Anything could be happening. The Iranians are lashing out. Let me tell you something. They took a big chance. They took a big chance lobbing that missile into Jerusalem. And did I miss somebody? Randy's here. Hi, Randy. Debbie's here. Roland's here. Let's see. Elva's here. Nice to see you. Yeah, I mean, you get a piece of shrapnel damage that Alaska mosque. And Wayne's here. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, do me a favor, folks. Give me a thumbs up. Helps the video to get around. Or even get dust on it, dirt on it. That is an affront to the entire region. Kim's here. Let's see. Sherry's here. Nice to see you, Sherry. I want to make sure I don't. Hebrew's here. What part? It might be happening tonight. Might be the. Hi, flannel cheese. Might be the, what is it, when we all disappear? I won't be one of them. I won't be one of them, but everybody will disappear out of the chats. I'll be sitting here talking to myself. The rapture. I'll have to go through the tribulation. You all will get sucked up for the rapture, not me. I've been a bad boy. So anyway, but there's always hope, right? There's always hope. So anyway, they're lashing out. They threaten Britain. They are continuing to send cluster bombs into Israel. They bombed the mosque they bombed the Wailing Wall. I got two different clips that are very short. I don't know if they're the same or not. I just got them from two different sources. I want to make sure I'll show them one after the other. But anyway, yeah, you damaged that mosque. And those of you who've been with me for a long time, remember I said, my dad told me years ago, when you know things are going to hit the fan is when that Alaska mosque blows up. That's when you know things are going down. So, I don't care what kind of technology you have. You're talking, what were they, 300 yards? I mean, that's less than 1,000 feet away from the mosque. But they wanted to hit that Wailing Wall. They wanted to collapse that Wailing Wall. And, but man, were they taking a chance. Anything can go wrong, and they could have hit or severely damaged that mosque. Here's one shot. Put it on loop so it'll go twice. Whoa, wait a minute. There we go. Here we go. You all, that's a famous structure. Many of you all seen it. A lot of people have been there. Trump's been there. The Wailing Wall, right? Am I right, Hebrew Hammer? I believe I am. So anyway, here it comes. Kaboom. Yeah, that threw dirt all the way across the courtyard from one end to the other. Looks like it clipped the road up there, up top. They wanted to drop it right in that courtyard. So anyway, is that a sign of desperation? I posit to you that it is a sign of desperation. Certainly not a wise move. They would have every Muslim country, man, they'd be, whoa. Where's the Iron Dome? I don't know what kind of them. I don't know how fast it came. They have those subsonic, and they claim hypersonic missiles. Kind of a version of Russia's Oreshnik. I don't know. Be kind of hard to stop that. Yeah. It hit before the wall, hit that roadway up top. I got another video of it. It might be the same or not. But anyway, I tell you what, we'll talk about this real quick. An icon has left us. Different reports I'll show you. This is the first one I saw. About 10 o'clock this morning, Chuck Norris passed away. And it was sudden. His family put out here's ABC Eyewitness News. Martial artist and actor Chuck Norris has died at 86 years old. Norris family confirms his death in a statement on Friday. They said it was sudden, but he was surrounded by family, and he was peaceful. But they didn't give a reason. Here's some fan art. I guess that is a AI image of him on the left, and then some shots from his different movies. But then I saw a report that he was transferred to a hospital. So apparently he survived for some time, and I don't know how long, enough time for his family to come around. But anyway, here's the Fox News alert.
We've got some sad news for our viewers at home. Fox News alert now on the passing of an American icon. The legendary actor Chuck Norris has passed away. His family posting the news on Instagram a moment ago. No word on the circumstances, but we do know he was getting some health care just as recently as this week. So he was a legend in TV and cinema and, of course, the martial arts. Trained a lot of actors, too, and actresses along the way. He was a devout Christian born in the town of Ryan, Oklahoma in 1940. Chuck Norris was 86.
Yeah, I don't know. May have been a stroke. Because there were people saying, well, I talked to him on the phone and, he's in a good mood and seemed to be doing okay. And it depends on what kind of stroke you have, if that's the case. Or it could have been a cardiac event. I don't know. Here's a clip from Chuck Norris. I thought you all would enjoy watching this.
Why are you a conservative, sir?
Well, I used to be a Democrat, but unfortunately the Democrats went too far to the left, and the Republicans moved into their position that the Democrats were 40 years ago. See, and so what the Democrats believed 40 years ago, the Republicans believe today. And so I realized that I had to go to a Republican because the Democrats just got too far off the trail. They just got completely off the trail and lost all reality of what America stood for. And so I realized that Republicans at this point in time are more focused on what is best for America than what the Democrats are.
Used to be a Democrat. That's something to hear quite a bit. And here's Donald Trump when he met Chuck Norris in 1991. This is WrestleMania. Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing Chuck Norris. Did you notice Henry Winkler, the Fonz, sitting in a chair in between Trump and Norris when he first walked up? 91, that's 35 years ago. Isn't that something? Talking about Hulk Hogan, who we just lost. So, yeah, Vanity Fair put out a smarmy announcement that he passed away, and I'm not going to show it, or I shouldn't bring it up because I'm bringing it up. I mean, just the left is sickening. That is my new mantra. The left is sickening. Okay? And we'll leave it at that. So anyway, Sissy said, look up Epic Split with Chuck Norris. I wonder what that's about. Hi, Awaken Trillium. How are you? Oh, two semis with his feet. I remember that scene, Sissy. Yeah. Him and Jackie Chan used to do a lot of crazy stuff. Stanton, how you doing? So anyway, like I said, none of us know how long we're going to be around, right? How far we're going to get to see into this epic time that we're living in. I'll put up some posts by Trump. The Save America Act must be passed by the Senate. There's nothing that is more important for the USA, voter ID, proof of citizenship, etc. Get it done and watch all of the good things that will happen. What do you all think? Is it going to pass? They can't even agree enough to secure our elections and protect it from foreign influence. What good is Congress? I meant to read a long post by Donald Trump. I swear to you, I might read it tonight or I might do it in a future broadcast. How many times have you all heard me say, once again, I'm calling on you to be my witness. How many times have I said that certain institutions, I've used the term, not functioning in the manner for which they were intended. Not functioning in the manner for which they were intended. I've said that many times, and Trump repeated that. You can say that definitely right now about Congress and some of these specious decisions by the Supreme Court. And he also called a lot of these so-called allies cowards. Didn't you hear me use that exact same term, especially with Keir Starmer? I said they were cowards. The French, Keir Starmer. Without the USA, NATO is a paper tiger. They didn't want to join the fight to stop a nuclear-powered Iran. Now that fight is militarily won, with very little danger for them. They complain about the high oil prices they are forced to pay, but don't want to help on the Strait of Hormuz, a simple military maneuver that is the single reason for the high oil prices. So easy for them to do with so little risk. Cowards. And we will remember Donald J. Trump. Well, they all did a big turnaround. A lot of them did. And NATO, whoever that guy, Root or whatever his name is with the head of NATO, oh, they back Trump now. They back Trump. Because I tell you this, that's the reason why I've got the thumbnail that I have. Again, you all are my witness. Didn't I say I heard the number 5,000? When everybody was talking about 2,500 Marine Expeditionary Forces coming, I said, well, I heard it's going to be 5,000. And I said, forget about it till we get more official word on it, right? Well, it turns out it's going to be even more than that, more than 5,000. They're on their way. And Trump, on the one hand, is saying, I don't want to put his soldiers anywhere. And he's saying, they're finished. We're wrapping it up. I'll read you one of his truths that he put out. Hey, he's not going to tell them nothing. Right? Just like with the, when he was talking to the Japanese reporter. Why would I tell anybody and lose surprise? Why would I do that? Oh, I got a funny clip. If I find out, play it in a minute. But anyway, why would he lose the very valuable element of surprise? So, I hope he does. I hope. What's going to happen with Carg Island? We're either going to take it outright, and there's another one, Kirsch Island or Kish Island. Take it outright, siege it, besiege or embargo it, or have some form of de facto control, or we'll wipe it out. Okay, because we're not gonna continue to live with this tumult and these maniacs threatening civilization. They can be loudmouths, but defanged. We're going to defang them. We're going to take their control. That what level of control they had over the world economy, we're going to take that away, one way or the other. Hi, Brett. How you doing? Pappy, how you doing? Nice to see you. How many Debbies do I have? Hi, Debbie. In case I only said, well, I can't ask cleanup. How you doing? So, anyway. Here we have, what is this one? Hold on, let me read this report. In the meantime, the USA is sending another Marine Expeditionary Unit to the Middle East. As NBC News reports, citing sources, the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, MEU, of the U.S. Marine Corps will depart from San Diego in the coming days. Now, I had a report that I didn't share with you the other night. We have, they're called oilers. And one of them, it's not in the news. So I'm like, well, I don't want to be like Joe Kent and putting out negative stuff that, if they wanted it in the news, it would be in the news. But it's so far along in with the situation that we'll go ahead and talk about it. An oiler is a fuel support vessel, right? You have aircraft carriers, and they need to be taken care of with fuel for all the jets and everything on the vessel. You have to have a way to replenish fuel, and various other, jet fuel, oil for the maintenance of the vessel. So these oilers are kind of like a stratotanker for the water. But the oiler U.S. Navy ship Bighorn was damaged off the coast of Oman. No fuel leak detected. Now, this was about 5 days ago. It ran aground or had some other, it might have had a bump in with another vessel. They're kind of coy about it. And they've been quiet about it. And it's been laid up for repairs. Here's a picture of it right alongside. This is a picture, I know it prints small, but this is a picture from 2024 where they're replenishing the USS Abraham Lincoln. So, it's kind of hard to have operations when your oiler is out of service and you're limited in what kind of fuel you can use. So that's coming back online. Plus, they brought another one out of mothballs. So they'll have some redundancy. And they're bringing in 2 Marine Expeditionary Forces, 2,500 apiece, was the report from Russia. But it's more than that. It's more than that. Let me see if this is the word. Just in. Pentagon, that's where I got the picture. I enhanced my picture. I enhanced it, brightened it up. Who's the first to go in and the last to leave? I asked that at the beginning of the broadcast. I didn't see, I forgot to go back to it. Who's the first to go in and the last to leave? Just in, Pentagon making heavy preparations for potential ground operation. Pentagon brass are quietly prepping for potential ground invasion of Iran. Now, it's not going to, it could be the shoreline, the coast right there at the Strait of Hormuz, which is about 21 miles long, 2 channels, in and out, innies and outie channels. They're both 2 miles wide apiece. And so maybe around that immediate area, they might set up a beachhead, but Carg Island is the key. Even as Donald Trump insists he's not sending troops. Oh, well, he's not going to tell anybody what he's going to do. Okay? And being coy is going to help him with negotiations. He's keeping his cards close to his chest. And yeah, he'll tell them things and misdirect them if necessary. This is combat operations. People's lives are at risk. Oh, meanwhile, they took out another 3 high-ranking characters last night and yesterday, and they put out $10 million reward, because the other ones they had a $10 million reward were all wiped out. So they got some new ones up here. And every time they get replaced, they'll just keep putting the pictures up and letting everybody know you could be eligible for a relocation and a reward of $10 million. Just wondering how you're doing. So make sure I didn't miss anybody. Hi, Damon. How you doing? Nice to see you. Thought Marines already took an island. I hadn't heard that, Roland. Hadn't heard that. But I'm sure there are operations going on that they're just not going to talk about. You got to have some kind of presence, whether it's assets you cultivated on the inside, or actually have a special forces or Delta doing operations. Of course, those are covert, and they're not going to talk about that stuff. Let's see this one here. Breaking. Oh, this is a British ship. Iranian man arrested after attempted breach of nuclear base. A suspected security breach at one of the United Kingdom's most sensitive military installations has led to the arrest of two individuals, including an Iranian national, raising new concerns. Oh, did he come in with the migrant influx? They're going to learn. They're cutting their own nose. Here we go. Let's see. This is the one. 2,500 was the first expeditionary force. Now we have reported this evening new 4,000 U.S. troops specialized in amphibious operations were deployed to the Middle East in a significant escalation of U.S. military presence in the Middle East. The Pentagon has ordered the deployment of an amphibious ready group, ARG, and attached Marine Expeditionary Unit, totaling that'd be 6,500. Well, that's if they've got one Marine Expeditionary Group. So we're looking at confirmed 6,500. But if it's two expeditionary groups, you're looking at 2,500 more on top of that, almost 9,000 troops. That's going to get their antennas up. Meanwhile, Trump posted this. And the White House reposted it. See, it's right there, the White House chevron on the bottom, and there's Trump boarding Air Force One. We are getting very close to meeting our objectives as we consider winding down our great military efforts in the Middle East with respect to the terrorist regime of Iran. So it's highlighted because a lot of people are speculating with Bibi Netanyahu saying, well, we've pretty much taken care of the nuclear threat. They can't make any more nuclear bombs. I was thinking about this last night because that's when Netanyahu said that. Trump was saying we've militarily defeated them. We don't really want to fool with the Strait of Hormuz because it's not our problem. I was thinking, he's putting out signals. I said that last night, mixed signals, that he's going to be backing off, right? But that could be a feint. And, if I had any kind of channel where a lot of people would watch or something, I wouldn't even discuss it. But, I'm a peanut channel, so hey, it's a feint. It could be a feint, I'll say. Get them to let their guard down, and then you put one right in their mouth. But he's also letting people know, unless these are unauthorized leaks about the troop deployments, and I don't believe they are, he's letting them know that he's going to have the power and the flexibility to do whatever he wants based on conditions and results. So, number one, completely degrading Iranian missile capability, launchers, and everything else pertaining to them. 2, destroying Iran's defense industrial base. 3, eliminating their Navy and Air Force, including anti-aircraft weaponry. 4, never allowing Iran to even get close to nuclear capability, and always being in a position where the USA can quickly and powerfully react to such a situation should it take place. That kind of fits in with what I was talking about with the island. Protecting at the highest level our Middle Eastern allies, including Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait, and others. The Hormuz Strait will have to be guarded and policed as necessary by other nations who use it. He's talking about the Hormuz Strait, not the waters preceding it or after it, like the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. The United States does not, in other words, they don't use it, don't need it. If asked, we will help these countries in their Hormuz efforts, but it shouldn't be necessary once Iran's threat is eradicated. Importantly, it will be an easy military operation for them. Thank you for your attention to the matter, President Donald J. Trump. So, he could get de facto control of the islands. We don't have to physically occupy them, although that is an option. That is an option. And if he decides to do it, he can go in there fast and hard and take it. Let me see. I got some clips. Let's see. What's this one? I need an assistant to keep me. Which clip is which? So anyway, let's see.
You said that the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that? You said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
Yeah, there you go. They're finished. From a military standpoint, they're finished. Here's another one. Let's see. Oh, I think this might be when he reacts to Chuck Norris passed away. I know one clip he mentions Chuck Norris.
You said opening the Strait of Hormuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but, you know, we don't use it. You know, at a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone, the Navy is gone, the Air Force is gone, the anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have is all gone, everything's gone. The strait itself, the actual strait, how are you? The strait itself is, we're doing a good job, but it would be nice if the countries, including China, if the countries that use it, China uses it 90% of their energy. Japan is 95% of the energy. it would be nice if those countries would get involved.
Yeah, they'll get involved. They'll get involved. There's all kinds of things to consider. But they've got all kinds of crafty mines and, mines that lay on the bottom, mines that float near the surface, remote control, mobile robo mines, all kinds of garbage. But they can handle it. Oh, Hebrew, I wish it was the case. I wish it was the case. Here, I believe he mentions Chuck Norris. Yeah, there he is. There's a picture of him.
I bet he was a great guy. Wow. Yeah, the guy in the house where I'm looking around is like a supporter here. Yeah, he was Chuck Norris. He was a great guy. He was a really good, tough cookie. We didn't want to fight him. I think he was a tough, great guy, and he was a great supporter. Wow. That's too bad. Tell his family, highest respect.
Yeah, he just found out about it. That was his reaction. He just found out. So anyway, let's see. Here's a... let me see what this one is. Here we go. Oh, this is Colorado. Colorado, what are they currently famous for right now, folks? Put it in the chats. What are they currently famous for, especially in the eyes of Donald J. Trump? I met with Hope Schepelman and her husband, Stephen, of the radical left state of Colorado to discuss various opportunities to serve our country in a different capacity than her current run for the United States Congress. Hope and Stephen are wonderful patriotic veterans of our U.S. Navy and loyal supporters of our historic Make America Great Again movement. Therefore, I am proud to announce that they will be leaving the campaign trail in order to join my administration. Aha, exactly. Sue, nice to see you. Tina Peters. Haha. Let's see. Sissy, yeah. Sissy got it. Miss Mendersue got it. And Elva got it too. Fraud, right? So anyway, this power couple, I guess, wanted to be involved in politics, and Trump has absorbed them into his administration. Together with them, we decided that Congressman Jeff Hurd of Colorado's 3rd Congressional District should in no way, shape, or form be impeded from winning the district in that the Democrat alternative is a disaster for our country. Therefore, I will be fully supporting Jeff's re-election to run the House of Representatives and give him my complete and total support or endorsement. Let me see. Wow, he went on and on about this. Endorsement. Every true MAGA supporter and Republican, if they truly care about saving our country, will do everything in their power to unify together and defeat the crazed radical left Democrats this November. If they seize power, they will spend every minute trying to turn back the clock to record inflation, skyrocketing prices, high taxes, open borders, men and women's sports, transgender for everybody, corrupt elections, get out of jail free cards for violent criminals and terrorists, and much more. We cannot let this happen. It is time to stand together against the people that want to destroy our great nation and vote for Jeff Hurd. Anybody in the chats from Colorado, or after the live stream, if you're from Colorado, put it in the comments. And remember, support Jeff Hurd, who will do a fantastic job as your congressman, including growing the economy, cutting taxes, and regulations, promoting Made in the USA, advancing American energy dominance, keeping our borders secure, supporting our military veterans, defending our always under siege Second Amendment, and ensuring peace through strength. Congratulations to Jeff Hurd and Make America Great Again. So, he's getting right down to congressional districts. Here's an example of what these things, that's what I'm going to call them, is things, are going to do when they get back in power. Here's Pritzker talking about Project 2029. This is baby back Pritzker.
What does a Project 2029 agenda look like for you?
I don't think you can speak of it in shorthand, but I'll just say a couple of things that I think are absolutely necessary. One is we've got to restore the rule of law, and that means holding people accountable who've broken the law. I'm talking about in this administration, when we get a new one, the people in this administration who've broken the law and federal agents who've broken the law need to be held accountable.
And that means criminally prosecuted.
Criminally prosecuted, civilly prosecuted, whatever it is that we can do.
You're a damn liar. And you're going to get arrested. You've broken the law. You have incited public hostility. But they're going to do like James Carville wants to do. Shave their heads and march them down the street and spit on them. Spit on them. That's what we ought to do. Remember James Carville? Listen to me, you fat. And then he went on to cuss Donald Trump. I still got that clip. I don't like playing it, but it should be played for people to realize just how savage they are. Speaking of that, this thing right here, I'll read the report in a second, but she is threatening doctors that if they do not perform transgender surgeries and so-called treatment on children, she's going to prosecute them. That's how sick these people are. But Trump vindicated after Forbes values Mar-a-Lago 2,900% higher than Letitia James's estimate. She tried to put him in jail for effectively the rest of his life because of her delusional, vicious accusations, false accusations. She needs to be prosecuted also. A new valuation of President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate has once again drawn attention to New York Attorney General Letitia James for civil fraud case. Well, I'm sorry. She certainly wanted to see him go to jail for the rest of his life, but she was trying to just destroy him financially. And Goron was trying to put him in jail. Correction. What's this one? Oh. Anybody know about this restaurant? Last week, I was having lunch with two other moms at a restaurant when the owner approached. This is Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor. When the owner approached a member of the State Police Executive Protection Detail and said my presence made their employees feel threatened and told us to leave. Somebody put in the comments on a video about this, imagine what they did to their food. These liberals have a criminal mentality. They espouse violence. They rationalize violence. And you can't trust them. They're amoral and uncivil people.
Wendy and Jill, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, thank you for having us. My name's Jill McDonald and Wendy Shea. It's great to be here. We're glad y'all are here.
Yeah. Awesome.
And we We own the croissantry out here in West Little Rock. We're at 14710 Cantrell.
Let me guess. 2 overweight lesbians decided to start a business. And they don't like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That's just my supposition. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Barron Trump. There he is. Handsome young man. Guess how old he turned? 20. Oh, I meant to hide that. Happy birthday, Barron Trump, the son of President Donald J. Trump and First Lady Melania Trump turns 20 today. There he is, handsome young man. Happy 20th birthday. Can you believe it, folks? When Trump came down the escalator, Junior was 9 years old. 9 years old. Chuck Norris, how old was he? He'd been 74 or 75. So it's been a long battle. I said 5 years ago when I first started my videos, I said it was going to be a long battle. So here we are, continuing on with the battle. Here's a judge. I didn't get to listen to this yet, and we'll listen to it together. Justice Neil Nels. I started reading that name, and I said, "Uh-oh, what does this judge do? Somebody with 4 names? I don't, I'm used to like Joe Smith. But anyway, Nels Stefan David Peterson. I said, oh God, what do you do? Questioned State Attorney Deborah Leslie over her citations to cases that apparently don't exist. What was on our list last night of the end is near for who? We put down the bar. The bar. Either they don't have a code of ethics or they don't adhere to a code of ethics. Going to AI, coming up with crap, garbage in, garbage out, clogging up the courts, influencing cases with cases that aren't even real, to submit to the court for their arguments. Let's see how he treats her. Let's see.
So before you sit down,
Yes,
there's
sir.
one more thing I need to ask you about, unfortunately. In reviewing the trial court's order denying the motion for new trial, there are at least 5 citations to cases that don't exist. And there's at least 5 more citations to cases that do not support the proposition for which they're cited, including 3 quotations that don't exist. My understanding is that you prepared the order for new the denial order for the trial court. Were those citations in the version of the order that you submitted to the trial court?
No, Your Honor, I do not believe so. They were not. I did prepare an order. That order was revised.
So those non-existent cases were cited in your initial brief opposing the motion for new trial.
Your Honor, I'm not aware of that, but I would be glad to research that and provide the court with a supplement.
Okay, we'll get a briefing order out direct.
Yes, they're just pumping out AI garbage. If they were to sit there and take the bar right now, they probably wouldn't even pass if they had a supervised shot at passing the bar. Somebody watch and make sure they don't cheat. They probably couldn't do it. And the system is rife with people like that. So, and they don't do anything about it. Here is a young lady in Brazil. Brazilian politician Fabiana Bolsonaro performs blackface to show trans people that putting on a dark foundation on her face doesn't make her black. Hi, Melvita. How you doing? Cole's here. Yeah. Hi, Linda. Nick Shirley, yeah, he's got a GoFundMe for security because of Gavin Newsom starting up stuff. But just because you put on blackface doesn't make her black, just like putting on a dress doesn't change your gender. And I'm going to play it. It's got subtitles. Young lady, got a lot of courage. Hey, Brazil is a commie rat hole right now, okay? If you saw the beginning of this video, you saw where roughly 30 years ago, Donald Trump was talking about the need to get rid of Cuba. Cuba and the Soviet Union did more to cause upheaval and destroy the societies and the economies of Venezuela, Argentina, Brazil, all these countries going commie. Ecuador, on and on, a communist infection. So I don't know how far this young lady's going to get, but she's a young lady and she's very brave because these communists are vicious, and she's in Brazil. And the Lula government is very pro-jab and very pro-trans.
Eu sendo uma pessoa branca, vivendo tudo que eu vivi como uma pessoa branca, agora aos 32 anos decido me maquiar, me travestir como uma pessoa negra, me maquiando e deixando só o fora aparecer. E aqui eu pergunto, e agora? Eu virei negra? Eu senti o desprezo da sociedade por uma pessoa negra que jamais deveria existir? Eu te pergunto, você que está me assistindo, eu me pintando de negra, sinto na pele a dor que uma pessoa negra sentiu pelo racismo, por não conseguir um trabalho, um emprego. Eu tenho uma tia, inclusive, que antes dos anos 90 foi atrás de um emprego, e ela é negra. E ela disse que na entrevista de emprego, ela foi ótima. Mas aí, o pessoal que estava fazendo a entrevista disse o seguinte: você é ótima, eu gostaria muito de contratar você, mas você é negra, e aqui a gente não contrata pessoas negras. E aí eu te pergunto, eu estou negra agora? Eu estou sentindo as dores de uma mãe que tem o filho que sofre tudo que sofre na rua por ser negro? Não é isso? Não é essa a luta? Aqui, eu quero justamente mostrar. Não adianta eu me maquiar, eu não sei as dores que vocês passaram. Não adianta eu fingir algo, eu não sei as dores que as mulheres negras lá, naquele evento que tiveram, do governo federal, sentiram quando dormiram no estábulo. Mas agora eu não sou negra. Eu estou pintada de negra por fora. Poxa, eu me reconheço como negra. Por que eu não posso, então, presidir a comissão sobre racismo antirracista? Por que eu não posso defender isso? Por que eu não posso cuidar dessa pauta? E aí eu venho e falo para você, sabe por que eu não posso cuidar dessa pauta? Porque eu não sou negra. Eu não sei as dores da essência que essas pessoas tiveram, as lágrimas que caíram. Eu não sei o que passaram. Eu imagino com muita raiva o que passaram, a dor que viveram. Mas eu não sei o que passaram na minha essência, porque eu não sou negra. E aqui, agora, tirando essa maquiagem, eu digo para vocês, como uma mulher, eu sou uma mulher. Não adianta se travestir de mulher, e não estou aqui ofendendo transexual, muito pelo contrário. Eu estou dizendo, eu sou mulher. Eu quero ser vista como mulher. A mulher do ano não pode ser transexual, porque isso está tirando, por exemplo, a mulher que inventou a vacina para a pessoa andar depois de um acidente. Ela é uma mulher, mas alguém tirou o lugar dela para pôr a mulher do ano uma transexual. Então, o que eu quero dizer aqui? Transexual tem que ser respeitado, sim. A gente está vendo o maior aumento da história de assassinato de pessoas transexuais, que têm que ser respeitados, sim. Eu não quero que nenhum trans passe por nenhuma situação de preconceito. Não quero que nenhum trans seja assassinado por ser trans, nem seja discriminado por ser trans. Mas eu também não quero que nenhum trans tire o meu lugar. Cadê? Não é o meu lugar de fala. Eu sou mulher.
So, yeah, I'm seeing some of the comments. You think, Miss Bender Sue, I said it's weird, and what the heck? Cole said it's weird. But she's saying, you can dress up, but that doesn't mean you can feel like you identify with what Black people have gone through. You can sympathize. You can feel like, hey, I can dress up. Either you can't make yourself something you're not, no matter how much you think that you identify. And it's not fair to the person who actually lives that life and has gone through what they've gone through, their experience. You can't claim that with gender either. So, it might be worth watching again. And reading what she had to say, what she's trying to say. But that's about the only way you could come out against transgenderism in Brazil without getting punished. I'll put it that way. Here, this is a good cartoon here. Put this on your meta page. I'm delivering 90 million thank you cards from Iran. Where's that young guy that put a long live Iran in there? I didn't see any more comments. That was a brief visit. I don't think you got her point, the point she's trying to make. That it's not fair. Well, I don't know what to say about that. But anyway, you can't make an apple an orange. Let's see. Israel bears the main responsibility for this war, which has plunged our region into crisis, unprecedented crisis. That's from the Turkish foreign minister. Here's where the Ruskies are trying to show the damage that happened to the fuel storage facility in Bahrain. -1 barrel and some buildings. So it wasn't as bad as he was a troll. Yeah. Well, I wanted to engage with him in a respectful way, and I wanted to show him that thank you truck full of thank you cards from Iranian people. I called that young man last night. I said he was a wrestler, the one who got executed. I said he was a soccer player. He was a wrestler. 2 others got executed also. One of them was his coach. These, just like Trump was saying, these people are vicious animals. And what we're doing should have been done a long time ago. Look at J.P. Morgan puts this out. J.P. Morgan estimates GDP could shrink by Qatar's GDP could shrink by 9% in 2026. They said that gas plant would take 3 to 5 years to get back online. I just read a report that they're not going to run that plant until the end of the war, and it would take 3 to 4 months here's J.P. Morgan putting out this doom and gloom about Qatar's GDP. Remember what Trump put up a post that said, what J.P. Morgan did to Donald Trump should scare everybody. Remember, J.P. Morgan is under investigation. Trump is suing them, and they were involved in Jeffrey Epstein's Virgin Islands money shenanigans. So, yeah, they got a lot of reasons to see Trump fail. What have you all heard about this? New Secret Service agent faulted for butler mishaps, suspended for hiding marriage to foreign national. Faulted for butler mishaps. I think there were more than mishaps. But anyway, a Secret Service agent faulted in the security breakdown, that's a better description, at President Donald Trump's Butler rally is now under a new internal investigation after allegedly hiding a marriage to a foreign national for months. I wonder where that was. That a honeypot deal? Is it an Iranian foreign national? You know, a lot of you have watched me for a while. Remember, I've always said Sky News Australia is not the same as Sky News. 4 years ago, Sky News, which is what's on the screen right now, was decidedly lefty. And I always said to watch out for them. Don't take them seriously. Watch Sky News Australia. Well, I have to change my mind a little bit. There's something has been going on in the past year with Sky News. Well, longer than that, really. Remember, Sky News gave that footage on the roof of Butler, Pennsylvania, of Thomas Crooks after he got shot. Remember that? They had a drone up there. But anyway, here is a critique of Tucker Carlson from Sky News. And I chopped one word off at the beginning of this clip. He's saying the West is declining. The West is in decline is what the left is saying. And anyway, I'll play this clip. I think they're changing. Or this could be one presenter who is conservative and the rest of the news service is garbage. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
Is in decline, and all our leaders should be doing is managing that decline.
I've never supported the idea of an American empire, but we have one, and it's in retreat, but there's a way to manage that that's not damaging or profoundly damaging to the United States, the country that I actually live in, that I was born in.
But just when you think things couldn't get any weirder in Tucker World, last week came this.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Yes, according to Tucker, Tucker is being investigated for being a spy or an agent or whatever, presumably working for Iranian interests. This story got everyone very agitated and lots and lots of clicks, woo, which is, of course, the whole point. But the story isn't confirmed by literally anybody other than Tucker. Still, cue lots of fantastic memes and conspiracy theories. The best one, of course, being that Donald Trump knew Tucker was talking to the Iranians, so a few days before the war began, he specifically invited Tucker to the White House to inform Tucker that he, Donald Trump, had no intention of attacking Iran, so that would be fed back to the Ayatollahs. AI memesters helpfully filled in the visuals.
Tucker, I want you to come to the White House, believe me. Me? I mean, sure. Thank you, Mr.
I'm just bluffing with Iran, you know? It's the art of the deal, baby.
Okay, yeah, President Trump is just bluffing. You guys are totally safe.
What would we do without AI?
Now, I might have to get that clip and use it on one of my intro videos. But anyway, do you think Tucker really did help set them up? Knowingly or unknowingly? I don't know.
And then, of course, there were these AI memes mocking that cardboard cutout Ayatollah. But at the end of the day, nothing is actually as pathetic as Tucker Carlson's core beliefs, such as they appear to be. A hatred of American adventurism and exceptionalism, and a deep loathing for all things Israeli or arguably Jewish. And yes, there is indeed a word for that.
When Moses goes up a second time to Mount Sinai and says to God, please kill me, these people are too annoying, I can't deal with it. Is that anti-Semitism?
Yes, it truly is a world of weak, woke, once conservative podcasters who would make Lord Haw-Haw proud.
Now, who else can be my witness about me referencing Lord Haw-Haw? But I was comparing Lord Haw-Haw to Lawrence Tribe. Well, no, not Lawrence Tribe. What's his name on MS Now? Lawrence, whatever his face is. Oh gosh, I can't think of his last name, but I kept saying, remember what happened to Lord Haw-Haw. If you don't know, look it up. It's an interesting story. And I said that should be the fate of these MS News people. What happened to Lord Haw-Haw? Well, here you got Sky News comparing Tucker Carlson to Lord Haw-Haw. And if you don't know the story, once you read it, you'll get it. But basically, traitors. Speaking of which, here's Gavin Newsom. Not only is he causing trouble, this is governor's press office put this out, causing trouble for Nick Shirley, putting him in danger at a time when we're in a foreign conflict where American lives are at risk. He's mocking the commander-in-chief. And this was published in Russia, March 19, 2026. A tweet from the press service of the California governor, who is a staunch opponent of Trump. So we got the press and governors like Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, and The Economist magazine mocking Donald Trump. Operation Blind Fury. When Trump is... This is one of the most spectacular, overwhelming military operations in history. And they're acting like Trump is blind and doesn't know what's going on and just acting irrational. Taking care of a half-century-old threat to civilization and the world economy. The new cover of The Economist. This is being posted on Russian media. Politico put out a report right here. Putin offers to stop sharing intel with Iran if U.S. cuts off Ukraine. Russia proposes the U.S. to ban the transfer of intelligence data to Ukraine in exchange for refusing to transfer Russian intelligence. Well, guess what? It's a lie. It's a lie. Just like I voted for Trump 3 times. All those posts they've been coordinating, putting out. and MS Now doing an interview with someone who, in my opinion, is a liar. I voted for Trump 3 times. It says fake. Moscow proposed a quid pro quo to the U.S. as Politico, where the Kremlin would stop sharing intelligence information with Iran. Kremlin Special Representative Kirill Dmitriev called the publication by Politico a hoax, which claimed that Russia offered to stop sharing intelligence with Iran in exchange for abandoning Ukraine. A lie. So are we going to be cataloging this stuff? People need to be prosecuted. I mean, look at Nick Shirley. They're putting people's lives in danger, and they're inciting public hostility and fear. Here's Germany. The head of the defense concern, I'm not reading all that, Rheinmetall, Armin, stated the global reserves of air defense systems are practically exhausted due to the war in the Middle East. Global reserves. The demand for missiles and air defense systems currently enormous, with orders coming from all regions, he emphasized. According to current data, if the intensity of the bombardments continue, the entire, quote, Epstein coalition, there's that narrative, may only have enough air defense missiles reserved for up to a month, even taking into account production. He is putting out information, true or not, that's none of the enemy's business. Isn't that what allies do? Make public weaknesses or perceived weaknesses? He's talking about global reserves of air defense system. He's talking about, that includes Patriot missiles, interceptors. He doesn't know what we have, what we can produce and what we can't produce. Got no idea. But he makes a public statement claiming that we're running out. With allies like that, who the hell needs enemies? This is a more detailed report on the Marines. Let me see. What in the world? Did I chop it up? Hold on. Let me get. Oh, what the heck? Well, let me say this is talking about the strike group, the Marines, coming from San Diego. It will consist of the amphibious assault ship USS Boxer, as well as the dock landing ship USS Comstock and USS Portland, carrying 2,200 Marines and their equipment. The aviation component includes F-35B fighter jets, AH-1Z Viper helicopters, UH-1Y Venom helicopters, CH-53E Super Stallion helicopters, as well as MV-22B Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft. Together with the previously sent 34th MEU Marine Expeditionary Unit, the U.S. will have about 5,000 Marines and 4,000 sailors in the Middle East. Didn't I just say that? 9,000? 9,000. The sailors are an amphibious landing force, along with several amphibious ships, support vessels, and aircraft. This is still not enough for a large-scale ground operation. It is for that island, but it is sufficient for small-scale landing on rain and coastal islands or actions to protect the Strait of Hormuz. That's what they know we've got coming. We will strike all over the world where our enemy is present, the IRGC said. This is just before they bombed the Holy Land, just before they sent a missile over at Alaska Mosque, I'll say. Iran announced revenge after the killing of high-ranking Iranian officials. What do you mean, again? We will strike all over the world where our enemy is present, including officials, pilots, and soldiers, even in civilian areas such as resorts and tourist zones. Not a single place in the world will be safe for you. Well, that's what you've been doing, the whole thing. You've been bombing hotels, businesses, cluster bombs at civilians. Come on, let me get this thing. There we go. Okay, Viktor Orban is going up for election, and he's a huge ally of Donald Trump. Hungarian President Viktor Orban. The European Union will take all possible measures, including subversive ones, in the coming weeks to ensure Orban's defeat in Hungarian elections on April 12th. Keep that date in mind, folks. It's a big deal. Oil will be blocked for Hungary, and the opposition will be supported with all means possible. The plan relies on Orban losing the elections, which will allow the unblocking of a $90 billion loan for Ukraine. Remember, Orban blocked that $90 billion loan through the UN. The sending of Hungarian weapons to Ukraine and the fragmentation of the axis of Eastern European dissidents, demonstrating the power of Brussels. Brussels. That's where I lost a longtime friend. When they were talking bad about Trump, I said Trump is trying to break a grip that's been on our civilization for almost 1,000 years, coming out of Brussels. In the event of Orban's victory in the elections, we can expect the start of mass protests, just like what we have in our country, paid protests with EU support, under the slogan of fighting against, quote, election fraud. Oh, they're going to flip it. They're going to flip it and act like we're the ones doing election fraud. However, if Orban holds on, Brussels will face very big problems. So we got to keep an eye on that. Ukraine did nothing to help the U.S. in the operation against Iran, and Zelensky's words about assistance with drones were political PR. Donald Trump stated in an interview with MS Now. Oh, he went on MS Now. The same as it is the new name of MSDNC. I asked about help and support from Ukraine. And he said, she's talking about Donald Trump, that they, Ukraine, did nothing. That everything Zelensky talks about, that Ukraine is supposedly did to help us, is done solely for political and PR purposes, said MS Now journalist Stephanie Rule after a conversation with the U.S. president. So Trump is putting it out there. Zelensky's all talk. Hadn't done anything to help us. I got a video, a quick video. Let me see if I can find it. That one's a cluster bomb. I think this is how we took out one of the lawnmower drones. I'll put it on a loop so it'll play a couple of times in a row. What kind of high tech do they need to take out this Shahed drone? blasted it out of the sky. Yeah, don't need a lot of high tech. You just need good aim. They've developed a huge automatic shotgun. I mean, something that's about 10 times. Oh my! Excuse me. About 10 times the size of a regular shotgun. Put it on different aircraft and just blast them out of the sky. Here's John Bolton. Now, isn't he under indictment? He got his home raided. Is he formally indicted? It sounds like he's trying to put out an olive branch. He's not. I don't know. He's on Euronews. Nobody will touch him, I guess, on American mainstream media. Maybe they will. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing on European news.
When it comes to Europeans, today we saw once again, the idea that the Europeans are not rushing to help in the Strait of Hormuz. They also say that the region needs to de-escalate at this stage, and some voices even say this war is totally illegal. So is that going to be a problem for the Europeans and President Trump going forward when it comes, certainly in the context of NATO?
Well, I think it is a problem because the European reaction is incorrect. This is Europe's war. Europe's just as much, even more at risk on the nuclear side.
Why, sir? Why is it Europe's war?
Because Europe is just as much, if not more, at risk from nuclear attacks. If Iran gets nuclear weapons, it has the missile capability to hit Central and Eastern Europe, not the United States. And Iran has carried out terrorist attacks in Europe. And to say, as some European leaders have, that it's not Europe's war is simply an invitation to Donald Trump to say, okay, fine, it's not Europe's war. And, Ukraine, it's not America's war. That's a mistake.
A mistake for who? A mistake for Europe and a mistake for Ukraine to not help us. Because we can just turn it around on them. You don't want to help us, we're not going to help you. Here's some anti-ICE protesters down in Florida. And I'll just play it. You'll see. It's kind of, these cops got a good attitude, but they don't back down. They just arrest them.
I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will stand for liberation because I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will fight for liberation because I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I will sing for liberation, because I know why I was made.
It's illegal.
I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will stand for liberation because I know why I was made.
We're going to give you.
I am not afraid.
3 minutes to serve.
I am not afraid.
Okay.
I will stand for liberation because I know why I was made. Libertad es mi única bandera. Rise up, my people, my condors, my eagles. No human being will ever be illegal.
And we're giving you an easy way
I
out.
am not afraid.
Go protest
I
in the
will
grass.
fight for liberation, 'cause I
If
know
not, you guys
why
will go to
I
jail.
was made. I know why I was
Why are you being arrested?
I'm being arrested for peacefully protesting the horrible treatment of human beings by ICE agents.
It's called obstruction of justice.
These people are being treated horribly. They're human beings, and it's not
afraid. I will stand for liberation. I know why I was made.
Peters, would you like to tell me why you're being arrested
I'm
today?
being arrested because I'm fighting for immigrants and families that deserve to be safe. No one deserves to not come home from a day of work, from a day of school, from a day of just living their lives. This is not the America we deserve. We deserve freedom.
Yeah, get out of here. Did Did you hear that one cop? He was real nice. He said she was going, "I'm being arrested for nothing." And he said, "Hey, she's being arrested for obstruction of justice." He took her away. But that is what you get for almost at least 20 years of, think about it, folks. Obama, 18 years when he started, right? Or 19, and the school system pounding in their heads that they're on stolen land. We're on stolen land. And these are our neighbors. Our neighbors. Get a load of this. In Monse, New York, a postal worker assaults a 4-year-old Jewish boy. Police are investigating. A 4-year-old. What in the world would possess? What are these kids waiting for a school bus or what? You see them there on the left-hand side? Looks like 3 boys. I'll let it play twice. Tell me what you think is going. Is that a cop car that pulls up at the end? But there's nothing that can justify what he does. Nothing. I mean, 4 years old. Come on. That's a little. Well, is that a cop car? He's trying to talk to a cop. I mean, what's he doing? That kid scared me. He tried to steal my mail. Looks like a cab. Yeah, they probably saw the whole thing. But anyway, whoever it is, he's in big trouble. Yeah, it's child abuse. I mean, a kid could have cracked his head on the sidewalk. I know kids bounce, but, you know. Here's Gavin Newsom's wife. She's doing interviews, I guess because she's under investigation. Probably going to get indicted. This is what trying to raise your kids, raise our nation's children right here.
So much to learn from same-sex couples who have learned to communicate and who also are like, well, look, you know, someone's got to do the care work in a same-sex male couple. Someone's got to do that. So I'm just going to do it. And this is like, and not be afraid or ashamed because it's part of being human. We're all on a spectrum, right? It's just how society kind of pushes us and pressures us into these limiting gender roles. But again, the folks on the far right, they're missing is just this. They're living in this silo, this evangelical conservative silo that ultimately it's just pulling us back as a country to a time and a place where we don't deserve to be, and we're not going to be, because honestly, young women and fathers of daughters are awake now and they're woke and they're not going to let us go back. And so I have so much hope because of that. And obviously California has a huge responsibility to lead.
Yeah, we want a hedonistic society. We want to raise our kids to do whatever the hell you're thinking about. So I think you're wrong, lady. I think you're wrong. We get voter ID and you all are finished. Nobody wants their kids going through that. Here's, let me see what this one is. Oh, here's another angle. No, is this the same clip of the bomb hitting the, It looks close to it, yeah. See on the upper center, I'll call it the center right. There's a road up there, and that's where it looked like it hit. Yeah, I got it from a different source, but it looks like the same film. But I uploaded it anyway. So, let's see. Man, so much stuff. The Pentagon has conducted detailed preparations for the deployment of U.S. troops to Iran, reports CBS News. So, they're putting it out. CBS News trying to, all the bots, all the influencers. Trump said he wasn't going to put troops on the ground. Citing numerous sources informed about the discussions, the channel does not report that a final decision has been made. High-ranking commanders have sent specific requests for preparations for such a course of action. Trump, on the eve of March 19th, ruled out the possibility of sending troops to Iran. I wonder if this is an exact quote. No, I'm not going to send troops anywhere, he told reporters in the Oval Office. The U.S. president then added, and if it were the case, I certainly wouldn't tell you. Exactly. Art of war. Trump admitted that he trusts Putin more than any of Washington's European allies. Whoa. He also noted that it's harder for him to deal with Zelensky than the Russian leader. Trump added, Putin has shown that he's not afraid of Europe. Trump's words are quoted by journalists from MS Now TV channel. Wow. Did that interview come out? Did any of you hear or see that interview on MS Now? They're going to have a field day with that. Told you he was a puppet. He was Putin's puppet. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, a forced evacuation of children has begun in Slavyansk, according to Ukrosmi and the local Gautier. Earlier, the drug Fuhrer signed a law allowing police officers to forcibly remove and take away children from parents who do not want to evacuate to territory controlled by Ukraine. A forced evacuation of children. 2 news items. Yesterday, the cocaine Fuhrer declared that the front line is holding and is stable. 2, today, an evacuation of Slavyansk was announced. So they're continuing to lose territory. That's basically the gist of that article. And they're making people who don't want to leave give up their children. The French General Staff will take measures after the leak of the aircraft carrier's coordinates due to a military smartwatch, reported AFP. Remember when I was talking about my first channel got taken down? I was talking about how these young soldiers were getting on Instagram and it was being monitored, and that's what allowed their artillery to zero in on them. Because they were screwing around on TikTok and Instagram out on the battlefield. Well, here's somebody on the aircraft carrier has a smartwatch. Earlier, Le Monde newspaper reported that the exact location of the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle became publicly available as one of the crew members used the Strava app during a run where training data was uploaded. not very bright. Europe will not survive. Here's Viktor Orban, the one I just talked about. They're going to try to ruin the election and kick him out of office. Trump's ally, our ally. Europe will not survive without Russian oil when a global fuel shortage is imminent. This will become obvious to everyone within a couple of weeks, Viktor Orban said. Let's see here. I got a number of these things. This is the last one, I think. The military representatives of the Islamic resistance in Iraq, the BLWOD Guard, said, over the past 20 days, we have carried out successful and precise bombings of NATO forces in Camp Victoria near Baghdad International Airport. I haven't seen a lot of reports or videos of that. Today, NATO forces are withdrawing from Iraq due to the intensity of the strikes carried out by resistance factions on their positions. We promise our noble people that our strikes will continue until the last foreign soldier leaves Iraqi soil. Well, you know what? Iraq and Iran were at each other's throats. I think it was like for 6 years. It started in 1979, Iran-Iraq war. Now, they're sitting there fighting alongside Iran. Hi, Bambi. Sparky, how you doing? Who'd I miss? Oh my gosh, I've gone through the whole video. I want to thank everybody who went to buy me a coffee this week. Mike and Bev, Wayne, Tammy, and Angela. I do appreciate it. And I one time I said, give me a thumbs up. Remember to give me a thumbs up too. That's free. But anyway, I put a link in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out. This is a totally viewer-supported channel. I'm not monetized on YouTube, and I appreciate everybody that's gone by Buy Me a Coffee to help out. Check it out on Buy Me a Coffee. You can click on it, and you can at least look at the page. You don't have to do anything. But anyway, if you want to, pow! Here, I put some pows in. Boom, pow, pow. So anyway, I appreciate. Mr. Brenda Sue put a bunch of booms in for me too. So anybody who wants to help the channel out, I forgot once again. My. Where's that one video I want to show you all? Trump put that poll up again today. I'm kind of leery of that poll, but anyway, here is, I meant to play this the other night too. Tulsi Gabbard. Thank you, Miss Mender Sue. I appreciate it. Here's Tulsi Gabbard reminding everybody that they confiscated a bunch of stuff where? Puerto Rico.
Okay. Director, the ODNI has confirmed on the record that your office took custody of voting machines from Puerto Rico last May. I'm not aware of any previous DNI taking similar actions. Did your office promptly notify the committee about taking custody of Puerto Rico's voting machines?
I don't believe we did. However, this was done at the request of the Puerto Rico AUSA attorney.
Ma'am, it's a yes or no question. The answer, as you have acknowledged, is no. You did not inform the committee about the taking of a territory's voting machines. Is there a specific foreign threat? And I've read the reporting that you were looking for possible foreign threats, but is there a specific foreign threat that drove you to take this action?
There were questions about whether or not there were vulnerabilities that a threat could have taken advantage of, and that was the purpose for their requesting us to look into those vulnerabilities.
Where are those voting machines now?
I believe they are held in a secure facility at ODNI.
Have you or other ODNI officials taken any other state or territory's voting equipment into custody?
Not to my knowledge.
We've got this situation. We've got the Georgia ballots being confiscated. I discussed in Arizona the people that were exposing deeds that were phony, hiding vast sums of money tied to cartels. Something's going to break loose. Something's going to break loose. The sooner we get this Iraq situation squared away, I think we're going to see domestic stuff hitting the fan. Domestic actions being taken. I'm trying to, let's see, I had another video. Where'd it go? I thought it was neat. I might have saved it, or wonder why I didn't upload, huh? Well, let's see what this one is. I had two videos that didn't look like, didn't I? Nearly 400 TSA agents have resigned amid DHS shutdown. The Democrats are keeping that closed. Nobody can say anything different. But they still do. They still blame Trump. Let me see what this one is. Holy cow. I had a video I wanted to play you all. Where in the world did it go? Well, must not uploaded. I will play this one for you all. Have you all seen this with Dr. Oz? Have you all seen this with Dr. Oz? Hi, Robert. How you doing? Miss Minister said, somebody. Hi, Bambi. Nice to see you. Jerry, nice to see you. Oh, talk about Tulsi Gabbard resigning. I heard it's a rumor. I don't know. I can't imagine. You know, if he's doing anything, he's shuffling people around. He's shuffling people around. Especially when the Democrats are acting like they want to subpoena, investigate. Now, well, she's gone on something else. I got a new person in there now. But anyway, yeah, this is from Dr. Oz. How many of you all know about this? What's happening to elderly people on an industrial scale in California? And you can bet that it's happening to elderly people all around the country. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars and human rights abuses on an industrial scale. Criminality that I think is historic. Hi, Audrey. Oh, it'll be all right, Audrey. Don't worry. Did Audrey, have you heard about what Dr. Oz reported on? Because I'm going to play it for you right now. And we're just discovering this. So anyway, I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And please put in the comments if you're watching after the video, When are they going to start arresting people that are working for the government that allow these types of crimes against humanity to occur? So anyway, enjoy this video. I hope you learn from it. Pay attention, Audrey, and I hope I see you in future broadcasts. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
I want the story to be a reminder to everybody that if you see something, you got to say something. It's because of the neighbors speaking out that these folks are rescued. But I came here to study another issue. How did this horror story happen? I'm going to share a horror story that happened here in Carson, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. It has to do with hospice fraud, but not the way I've ever seen before. Chillingly, they have these homes that are called six-packs. They're called six-packs because you can put 6 residents in the home. If they're seniors and you sort of treat them like they're hostages, you don't give them much, you can make a lot of money off them. And it actually happened in this home behind me. In fact, someone died by that couch behind me last year because of the poor care they were getting potentially. But what we do know is when officers came here and were able to arrest the owners of this house, and they owned 2 other houses, they discovered deplorable conditions. Folks who were malnourished, being served moldy food, not getting the care you would want if you were living anywhere, much less in a facility that was supposed to be taking care of you, but it was much worse than that. These individuals, although they were sickly looking, they weren't dying, but they were put on hospice. Now, why would they do that? The owners of this business actually knew the hospice business. They had been in it, and CMS had one by one revoked their ability to bill us, and for that reason, they had shifted their tactics. And this is something that could happen again. By creating a 6-pack where they could house 6 individuals, they traffic them, they steal their information, they spread that information to accomplices who own hospices. They pretend that they're on hospice, even though the people in this home, the seniors, they didn't know they were on hospice. They weren't dying. They weren't supposed to be on hospice. But these other hospice centers charge $6,000 a month per person. That's $36,000 a month that could be made in this house. That's a lot more than rent, which, by the way, they might have been charging Medicaid as well. But the Medicare system is not designed to take this many people on the hospice who are healthy, not supposed to be on it. And so over time, these guys made more and more money. They apparently bought a beach house, which they hid behind a church license. I mean, to hide their financials. They're clever individuals, nefarious in that regard. But what it shows more than anything else is 2 realities. The people in here were only rescued because the neighbors in this neighborhood were willing to step up and say, hey, I'm seeing something wrong. You guys are going to come down and visit. And although cops had been here before, when the neighbors called and complained, they actually came by and took it seriously and rescued those seniors. The second thing it shows you is these nefarious fraudsters, if they're willing to steal your money, they're willing to steal your health. They'll steal your life. And that's why the normalization of hospice fraud in California has to stop. The numbers are shocking. Roughly 1/3 of all hospices in the entire country are here in Los Angeles. And that only happens because people aren't paying attention. We're here to take it seriously. We're here to stop this fraud going forward.